truth be told, tomorrow's promise to no man. I should trademark that. No, but really, like, I don't know. I don't want to be too, like, hang in there, kitty poster, like, encouraging people, but I've never been one to hold back how I feel about anything or anyone, positively or negatively. And that feels like a true gift, because now I get to do all the fun shit and keep telling people that I love them, and also keep telling people I can't wait to see you in hell when I don't want. I'm not as excited about talking to them.
Hey guys, my name is Katie Enterkin, and I'm on a mission to help humans become the best possible versions of themselves and to unveil what I like to call the beautiful beast that already lives inside us all. And welcome to the podcast about everything and a little bit of nothing. I've had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who have been through a plethora, I love big words, a myriad of experiences just being a human and existing. These are real conversations with real people, getting to know each other, sharing stories that make us cry, and occasionally pee our pants with laughter. We talk about all kinds of life stuff: parenthood, business, life goals, fitness, chasing your dreams, and yes, even some animal noises are involved. For more information, keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm back again with Megan White, my little sister from another Mr. and Mrs. So, like, she's not really my blood sister, but we grew up together and lived together when we were kids for like 5 years with our single moms and my brother Tony. Anyway, if you have not yet listened to episode 9, I highly encourage you to hit stop on your device right now and go back and listen to that one first. It's a tale of a 32-year-old cancer survivor. This episode, however, is quite different. This conversation took place during Megan's second chemo session this time around, as she has been diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. I'm not even going to pretend that this one isn't tough for me, but she has the best possible attitude a person can have when they know they have very little time left to live. So, as always, I hope something lands with you today. I hope something here tugs on your heartstrings, and or I hope you laugh.
I know you're not supposed to have a favorite chemo nurse. Parents can't have their favorite kids. But Dimple did my orientation class, which told me what to expect. And that sort of set the tone for the bedside manner that I would receive here. And everyone here is wonderful. But then I think she's probably administrated, this is probably the 4th time, I think. Yeah, maybe. Not including the orientation. But we just get along really well, and you can come in, and Collier's just going to come say, I was just praising Dimple on the podcast. As I'm standing here.
That's nice. Did it make Dimple blush?
Yes.
You want to hear it?
He's like, no, I have to hear that voice all the time.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to ask you, I went downstairs and I talked to them about changing your team lead, your lead oncologist, and how am I coming through? How am I on the ones and twos? Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's correctable. Anyway, so I checked into it, and they said the best bet is for you to email the doctor that you want directly. You also could talk to Diane Winchester and see what she can coordinate for you. And then I think once we've made that change, then we can look into getting outside referrals for the clinical trials and that kind of thing. So I think that's probably the best way to go around about it, unless you want to use your app to email Dr. Jamshidi first and see what he says. No, but I mean just about the outside referral stuff. Yeah, because right now we have one person. Before we switch, we could see if he's amenable to write those referrals and then see what our copay on those would be. Okay, sorry for the technical interruption. You can cut it out.
Good stuff.
It's good stuff.
stuff.
Thank you. Cool. And did you get my medical record number text? Okay, cool. Great. So yeah, that's a lot of what our conversations are like these days.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, shit. I just get right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back with Megan White.
Look who's back in the house. Click, click, clacking around.
And pardon all the background noise, but we are currently in the hospital. Tell them.
I am receiving chemotherapy as well as immunotherapy. My cancer is back. Wah, wah. But,
Wah,
that went
wah.
red. Maybe I should keep this for,
Yeah, I can just turn it down.
Okay. My cancer is back. It's no longer in my throat, thank God, because I have a lot to say. But it is, so far as we know, in my liver and in my lymph nodes. And I am stage 4 and terminal. Wah, wah. I could have a few months to a few years. 5 years would be a miracle. But so this chemo is to kind of, prolong my life as long as possible. And literally yesterday was the first day, and I already feel less pain. So that's promising.
That's good.
But yeah, so Katie was like, hey, let's do a follow-up. Like the saddest follow-up.
No, what I said was, would it be selfish if I asked if you still want to do it? Because we planned on doing a second one anyway. Yeah. But
and I will be honest,
now that you're dying,
I didn't read a lick of that book that I was so excited about. So, this is a good. This is the best excuse for not doing my homework. We can close that too. It might.
Yeah, let's
help.
try that.
Yeah.
Please hold.
I've got 2 mics. How unfortunate for everybody listening. Oh yeah, so
I was, I'm very dramatic, as are you.
See,
on the way here, I wasn't crying, you were crying, because I was thinking, like, I'm going to look back on this in maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be here.
Yeah. But you know what? Not to be, like, bad luck or anything, but you could get into a fucking car accident on the way home today.
Yeah.
So, there's a certain amount of, like, of really facing your, oh shit, that's uncomfortable, of really facing your mortality.
Yeah.
That I'm reckoning with. But, truth be told, tomorrow's promise to no man. I should trademark that. No, but really, like, I don't know. I don't want to be too, like, hang in there, kitty poster, like, encouraging people, but I've never been one to hold back how I feel about anything or anyone, positively or negatively. And that feels like a true gift, because now I get to do all the fun shit and keep telling people that I love them, and also keep telling people I can't wait to see you in hell when I don't want. I'm not as excited about talking to them, but we're all born to die.
That's true. I do have a story to tell you.
Okay, good. Here we go.
Yesterday, the night before last and yesterday, I had food poisoning.
That's the fucking worst. Yeah. And this is my second bout of chemo.
You're going to go see Megan. Are you sure it's not the flu? I'm like, I'm sure it's not the flu because everyone else in my house would be sick. It's food poisoning. It's that freaking beef and asparagus that I ate
I almost shit my pants. It's food poisoning.
So, but I had 2 classes scheduled to sub. The one in the morning, I'm texting people on the way there, at stoplights, of course, going, I have been throwing up all morning. Can somebody please cover me? And nobody could do it. And I showed up. I'm holding my water, and I'm holding Desmond, and I look at the guy at the front counter. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this today. And I start sobbing.
Yeah.
I don't sob in public. I was like, okay, I'll go take a vote. So I went upstairs, because the room at that gym is upstairs. And I said, okay, if I just stand still, I won't throw up. So I told the class, I'm really sick, and I couldn't get to sub. So I'm going to stand here, and I'm going to teach you. And during the class, I'm going, like, anytime my heart rate would go up just a little bit, I'd be like...
It was literally in your throat?
And then here's the point of the story. I was like, you can do this. Megan has cancer. You have the stomach bug. It was just funny.
Okay, look, here's the thing.
Okay.
I have had cancer, and I do have cancer, and I've had food poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
Food poisoning's worse. I mean, I'm probably going to... No, I am going to die. You won't die from food poisoning because we live in a first world country.
Yeah.
But it takes you out. At least with this, like, they give me all kinds of medicine, so I'm not, like, nauseous like you think. I mean, I'm sure people do get nauseous from their chemo.
Yeah.
But they have me on the right cocktail of medicines where I feel fine. And
that's good.
And I feel okay. And it's kind of time consuming.
Yeah.
When that is fleeting. But I'm already in less pain. So, but yes, the food poisoning is worse. And also the dehydration that comes with that.
Because you can't keep any water.
No.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm weird today because, you know, when your neck muscles hurt from going...
Oh, yeah.
And then, like...
Your chest muscles get tight, too.
And I feel better, and I'm hungry, but I'm scared to eat. So I've been just, like, nibbling on crackers and... Like, I've been eating a little bit, but you know how that is?
Yes.
The day after, you're like, I'm scared to eat.
I'm fearful of this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Like, the third or fourth time that I slept over at my now husband's house, I got food poisoning. And it was presenting itself both ways. And he was just like, oh, my God. And I was like, this is so embarrassing. I was, like, curled up on the floor of his bathroom with terrible stomach pains. I guess that was a good precursor for what was about 10 years away. But yeah, that was mortifying.
I actually brought an extra pair of pants in case I shit myself today.
I think that's just good practice for people to do all the time. You heard it here first, people.
So tell me a little bit about what you and Collier are up to with this bucket list.
Oh, yeah. So we have a GoFundMe, which has been great. And we're still, you know, we're using it to pay our bills. But people have really been asking about, like, bucket list things that I want to do. And that's, like, everything from having a cleaning lady come over once a week. Because that feels like the height of luxury to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yes, I forgot to clean up after myself. You can take care of it. To, like, trips to some of our favorite places, like Iceland is a very special place for us. Also, like, a day trip to Catalina or, like...
A half-day trip to Disneyland?
Well, yeah, we have... The last time I got sick, somebody bought us annual passes.
Oh.
Anonymously. I think it was Collier. But it...
You think it was Collier?
Yeah, I think... But I don't know. I know, but I do... I mean... I'm a big Disney fan. My half sleeve is from the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. And so somebody bought us, like, the second to top tier, which means we can go to either park, and we only can't go the week of Christmas. But word to the wise, you don't want to fucking be at Disneyland the week of Christmas.
No.
It's a nightmare. It's worse than summer, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. I mean, because it's so beautiful. I mean, Disneyland's beautiful at Christmas time. And us Californians are like, oh, my God, it's 50 degrees. We can bundle up and drink hot cocoa. P.S. listeners, I lived in Minnesota for like nearly 20 years, and I quickly adapted back to 50 degrees being freezing. But yeah, so Disneyland is a special thing, and it's nice when people come to visit because Disneyland's the shit, whether you want to admit it. I mean, like, people love it, and so it's nice to have the pass. But or like, I just put like a haunted night tour of Alcatraz on there.
Oh,
I know. Isn't that fucking cool?
Nice.
Do you want to do that with us?
Where do you keep these lists?
Well, this is our GoFundMe is... I'll just have Katie link all of this down in the description because I think she knows how to do that now. Do you know how to do that now?
I do.
Okay, good.
I do. I've posted 20 episodes now, so we're good.
Wow. I know. And it's still just me and Richard listening, huh? I'm kidding. No, that's rude. This is a great podcast.
I had an established audience of 20, and I think it went down to 14.
You fuckers.
You know, it's fine.
You fucking fuckers.
It is what it is. It takes a while to get a big audience. At least a year, so I've only been going
You've got a dying woman on here. What more do they want? What does the audience want?
To be honest, you're my only hope, so...
Yeah, I know. Because that's a good Star Wars reference. And Obi-Wan, you're only hope.
You're my only hope.
Mm-hmm. I'm more of a Princess Leia or General Leia. Anyway, so we have the GoFundMe, and then Collier is trying to figure out like a registry thing, and I think we had to go through a wedding registry, so the URL might have something about a wedding in it. We're already married. That's not what's happening. But yeah, there's a lot of venues that way. We also have our YouTube channel, which is now thriving again because I'm back to having cancer.
Joy.
I know. It is nice. I mean, I think that if you would like a visual of this chaotic energy, check out Megan White Has Cancer. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah.
You're not allowed to take videos in here, huh?
No.
Dang it.
Oh my God. I drove past the school that I thought was abandoned accidentally the other day, and there were people there.
Wow. How does it look? Does it still look abandoned?
No, because there's cars and people. Anyway, so yeah, there's cool things on there, like really practical things, like a food delivery kit or like a meal prep thing, because I did realize that as my friend Tegan's mom kept sending us food, it was like, oh shit,
you need some real food.
I need some food.
Just not beef and asparagus.
Yeah, that sounds sketchy.
Yeah. Well, are you still vegetarian?
Not since I've been sick. I was like, fuck it.
Like,
fuck
I'm eating
it.
A cow.
Yeah, I was like, look, I'll meet you on the other side, cow. I'll tell you my sorries then. But yeah, one of the big ones is gas money for a road trip back to Minnesota, because a bunch of my friends that are in bands are trying to put together a benefit concert at First Ave, which is the venue in Purple Rain. Have you ever seen that Prince movie, Purple Rain?
No.
Oh my God.
I suck.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's really special to Minnesotans because Minnesotans are
from, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't your mom go on a blind date with him?
She stood him up. Prince is like 5'2", and my mom, flat-footed, was like 5'8", 5'7". And at the time she had what she called, not me, trigger warning, a white woman fro, because she permed her hair huge. And then also wore like 6-inch platforms. So she was pushing like 6'2" or something crazy. And his name was Prince. That was his first name, his like government name. And my mom's really good friend from high school was his first manager. And her and my dad were on a break. They were always on and off. People just don't feel sad.
We were on a break.
Yeah. And my mom agreed to go on this date and then didn't. And when her friend was like, what the fuck? She's like, I don't want to date a little man that calls himself Prince. That could be the quote of my mom's life.
I don't want to date a little man that calls himself Prince.
Robin McLean. 1980 or whatever.
1980.
I mean, it was like right when Purple Rain was coming out. So it must have been, all the Minnesotans that are going to hear this are going to be annoyed. I think 84. Do you have an assistant that fact checks things?
I am my own assistant right now.
You're not that big yet. Those fucking...
Side note, fact check.
Yeah, good. But yeah, so we're going to go back for that. And then there's like an art house movie theater that Collier volunteered at when we lived there, and our very good friends run it. And we're going to do like a benefit screening of 2 movies, and people could go to both or one. And I picked The Shining.
Ooh.
And The Silence of the Lambs.
Sure, you can use my phone.
Was she a great big fat person? I mean, look. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's like still in stuff.
Really?
And 99% of the time, you have no idea it's him, but then you'll hear his weird, like,
you're like, what the fuck?
You're like, he's going to wear my skin.
He's going to wear my skin.
I wouldn't fuck him, but he'd fuck him.
Goodbye, horses.
Dude. Okay, so I'd like to be... It's the best.
I don't know if that's the words.
No, no one knows the words. I would like to be cremated and have my ashes mixed with glitter and then scattered at weird places. like in the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. I feel like that might be a felony.
I can make that happen.
Okay, good. Thank you. But whenever you guys do the big send-off, like into outer space or into the ocean, Goodbye Horses better be playing.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? She's telling me right now.
Oh, yeah.
What song she wants to play while I spread her ashes. See, you have to be able to talk about this stuff.
Absolutely.
You have to, because, you know, this is my little sister.
How do you know? Also, like, it would be doing me no justice if all of you were not laughing through the tears, thinking, God, how inappropriate.
Oh, speaking of that,
yes.
Can you please...
Oh, if something inappropriate, sign me up. I'm ready.
So morbid. Can you please find any way in your power to haunt me?
Oh, yeah.
Thank
you.
Oh,
for sure.
We got to get like some sort of
Collier was
code.
Like, how are you going to haunt me? And I was like, I'll figure it out. I think you have to be a pretty strong spirit, so it might take a little while.
I don't know. You're pretty strong spirited in life, so I think that'll pass on.
I think that's probably right. Collier was, we were going through, like, I don't want everybody to think that there aren't still tears. I mean, my husband and I cry about this every day.
I cry about it every day, girlfriend. I love you.
I love you. But you knew that because I've been fucking telling you my whole life, and that's the point. That's the point, people.
I'm not crying.
Don't let the pressure of something stop you from telling people how you feel about them.
Yep.
I'm just going to keep saying this like it's my epiphany that I'm the first person that's ever had it.
I was helping you in the epiphany sound effects.
That seems appropriate. Collier was like, maybe, and he meant this in a complimentary way, and also my husband and I have the same sense of humor, so don't be like, what the fuck? No. Or you can, but know that it's fine. He's like, maybe the world wasn't ready for too much Megan for too long. Because the Megan show was a lot.
The Megan show.
But I don't know, like, the bucket list thing is cool. I'm excited about the fundraiser. I love road trips, so I have things like on there, like, well, that aren't on there now, but like, I want to see as many of the national parks as I can. Mm-hmm. I've never seen the Redwoods, so a lot of these things are like in California.
Yeah, as they just cost money.
Yeah, right, and time. And my employer, West Coast Toyota of Long Beach, asked for Megan. If I'm not there, my buddy Thomas will help you. They're like, come when you can, be here, do the best you can that you're here.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're awesome. And it's a highly corporate facility that I work at. I mean, I work at a company that owns like 60 plus dealerships around the country.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then also it's Toyota. So it's like corporate. Yeah. And up until recently, I had to cover all of my tattoos. And we got a new GM. And he was like, I don't care. Like, we're in Long Beach.
Yeah.
The tattoos will probably help us sell more cars here.
Probably.
And I found out while I was at work that I was terminal because the doctor didn't have an opening in his schedule until the 19th. I haven't even seen my doctor in person yet. Oh. Which is why we're looking for
another doctor.
Other opinions.
Uh-huh. Is this the same one that said we have complete resolution?
No, that was my lady radiology oncologist.
Okay.
She's great. But yeah, so I was at work when I found out. And I was like, I have to go. And they were like, okay. I didn't even tell them why. And then I was like, starting to cry. And then the new GM, who I've known for like, I don't know, 2 weeks, was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, fuck. Well, now that you ask, I'm not sure if you knew before this, but I was gone all last summer because I had cancer, and it's back, and this bitch ain't going nowhere. And by this, I mean the cancer and me. And he was like, yeah, go ahead, go home. And that's when I like got home, and I was like, I'm going to be myself. And Collier was like, yeah, okay, what does that look like now? But he didn't. And I was like, let's dye my hair pink. And so I went back to work a few hours later to tell my department director, who is I'm pretty close to, and I'd rather him here in person, but he wasn't there. And I was like, by the way, everybody, I'm dyeing my hair pink. And they were like, okay. And I was like, that's it? And they're like, yeah, it probably suits you. And I was like,
ladies and gentlemen, it does suit her.
It
does. It looks good.
That's it. It's nice. Last time I had pink hair, I think I was 16.
Oh.
Yeah, but they're great about it. They're kind of letting me do whatever, which is nice. Also, I think it's important that I say where I work because I ended up getting to sell Richard. Please go back and listen to episode 9. I sold Richard the car of his dreams after you listened to this podcast. So
that's funny.
Go see me. Ask me questions. I mean, I love talking about myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm trying to think.
No pressure, I guess, but
it's funny because I had like a shit ton of questions in my head, and then as soon as I'm in front of you,
you're struck by my beauty. I understand.
You are gorgeous.
My old joke was when people would say you're glowing, I'd go, it's the radiation. Also, side note on that, when I was going through this last time, that mini-series or that Netflix show Chernobyl was out. And like regularly people would be like, have you watched Chernobyl? And I'd be like, I'm currently receiving radiation. I don't need to watch it. I don't need to watch anything about it. Oh, but maybe I will watch it this time. I don't know. But
that's funny. That is dark.
It is.
And twisty and Megan.
Yeah. I'd like to go back to Silence of the Lambs for a moment.
Okay.
I'm just going to step up on my pedestal here of my strong political leanings and my love of all things dark. So what's important about the Silence of the Lambs is that, yes, Buffalo Bill is a pristine bad guy monster. But Jodie Foster is a fucking genius in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, I know, I've seen it. But I just... like, every time I rewatch it, I am... God, this is going to make me sound like the elder millennial I am. I'm so engaged that I don't even look at my phone. I'm just like, okay. No,
I don't know what that means.
I just constantly look at my cell phone.
I'm kidding.
I was like, come on. It's just such a good movie. If all of you could grant a dying woman a wish, please watch The Silence of the Lambs. Truly a brilliant film. It also, Anthony Hopkins' breakthrough role.
Yes.
That's crazy, isn't it? God, we were talking. Oh my God. I just realized that we had a whole bunch of Silence of the Lambs references in the last episode.
We did, huh? Oh my God, that's funny.
Well, one track pony.
Stand up for a minute.
That's a good idea.
My stomach muscles hurt.
My side hurts, but it might be how I'm sitting. I don't know.
Probably your cancer.
That's the most likely situation. Yes.
Oh, I was going to ask you, how long ago was it when your scans were clean?
Oh, that's a really good question. So, just in terms of the timeline, I know I should have worn my matching fuck cancer shirt. My last chemo of my first round was July 3rd, and I had finished radiation sometime in June, and they had to wait like a few months until the inflammation from both of those went down, specifically the radiation in my throat, because that would have all shown up as red. But they do the whole PET scan. They did it in September. And my Dr. Goldman, the one that said complete resolution, called me like 2 days later. It was all like, your whole body's clear. And like we went in and she was literally like, this is the least interesting PET scan I've ever seen. There's literally nothing in here that is even questionable. And then I went in... what's today? I went in February 24th.
Okay.
Because I'm supposed to do the PET scans every 6 months for at least 5 years. At least that was the plan then. And it was so bad that, again, they had to call me at work and be like, we really wish we didn't have to tell you this over the phone, but we're looking at stage 4, no cure. It's in your liver and your lymph nodes. And it could be other places because I haven't had a fucking appointment with that doctor yet.
So that was between September? You said September?
From September to February. Yeah, so like 5 months.
Pardon the background noise, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with us. Bear with us. Bear with us.
I think, I guess I'll wait for the background noises.
So then talk me through that. Does that mean that's how fast it's growing?
It's growing so fast that it's called neuroendocrine tumor. So there's like a whole bunch of names for what I have, and I know I went over this in episode 9, but
I can make sure we're saying the right episode.
It'll be really funny if you have to edit that, and it's episode, and where we both say 9, you go 8.
I'm pretty sure it's 9, but I'll double check.
I originally had small cell carcinoma of the larynx with a neuroendocrine tumor. I have no fucking idea, but small cell carcinoma is the most common lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, I think, knows that lung cancer spreads like wildfire. So I had that, but just in my voice box. And that's why they're both like, or they both, all the doctors are like, wow, there's nothing on there.
Yeah.
But in 5 months now, it's basically filled up my liver, I think. But I don't know. And the lymph nodes, it could be other places. We had to do it. That beeping means that my first IV bag, which Patel, this is just, this feels like a Gene Wilder skit. That was just Benadryl, right?
Right.
Cool.
And then the dexamethasone.
So I have an insanely severe allergical reaction to one of the chemo cocktails that I'm on. There's 2 different types of chemotherapy that I receive. And so I have to do Benadryl first, then a steroid, and then the chemo. And are we doing immunotherapy today too?
No, just the...
Okay, okay. So just 1 chemo today. And I turn red like a lobster. Like, I'm pointing at a color. This is not a visual medium, but I turn bright red. And I start having shortness of breath and heart palpitations.
Oh, shit.
And lower back pains. Like I'm basically having a heart attack. That's how the level of the allergic reaction to the medicine, the poison, that's going to prolong my life. And so typically when I'm not doing my favorite thing, talking about myself, I fall asleep. I fall asleep during this, but such is not the case now. And I think if we made it through the whole IV bag, we're in no fear of me falling asleep.
You can fall asleep.
I think the audience would appreciate that too.
Yeah, you can. Oh, stop. No, we're here for you to talk about you.
Good.
So then what happened after that? Like once you found out your scans, like talk me through the story. Talk me through what you and Collier did, how you reacted, how many walls did you punch?
I may be white, but I'm not a white man, so I punched no walls.
You're not Tony.
I would say, how many white teenage boys did you know that punched holes in their wall?
Tony.
Tony. That made me think of the time Tony got his finger caught on like a fence or carts or something. It ripped. Yuck. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Tony's our brother, by the way.
Yeah. We didn't talk a lick about him last time. At the very end, you're like, oh yeah, Tony, that guy. So I got the phone call probably around 10 a.m. on, I can actually look at the calendar. This will be so much easier for people to follow in terms of the speed at which this is all happening. Okay. The follow-up PET scan was Monday the 24th.
Of February.
February. Yep. So a week ago yesterday, I found out about this. So 8 days ago. Not even 10 days ago. And my doctor goes, look, here's the thing. What I'm seeing is this, stage 4 terminal, and I'm mostly sure that's what it is. But there's a very sliver of a chance that it's not that, but that's unlikely. Actually, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. He told me I was sick, and I started pacing the dealership on my cell phone because I was having a flight or fight response. Mm-hmm. And he was like, can you please, how far do you live away from home? I'm like, I live 3 miles from home, from work. And he was like, could you just have Collier come get you? And I'd rather tell you both all of this in detail once because I don't have an opening for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And so Collier comes and picks me up. And he was like, because it's this aggressive, like I just said, we're going to start treatment immediately or as soon as possible. And if it's not this, whoops, you went through chemo. It could be worse.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy to think about. And so then I had an MRI on my brain stem and my brain to make sure that it hadn't gone there. And I kept trying to tell them, no, this is just how weird I always act. This isn't some mass growing in my brain that's changing my personality.
I'm always a weirdo.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then I've had a few like blood draws. I had a liver biopsy 2 days ago. And what they did is they put me on, I had to be like a twilight out so that they could tell me instructions, like when to breathe, because I found out that your liver isn't necessary, like it's not free floating, but it moves as you breathe and move. It like adjusts to your movement. So they had to be like, well, you need to be awake enough for us to tell you when to breathe and how to breathe. And I was like, okay. And so they gave me fentanyl, which is what Prince overdosed on, now that we're circling back to Prince. So the way that works is they put me in a CT scan, which is not that bad in terms of claustrophobia, but I was awake, but definitely high as a kite. And they did a live CT scan so they could see right where the liver was at that exact moment. And then the oncologist came in with a giant, you're good. With a giant needle and basically jabbed it in like through my skin, through the abdominal wall, like a couple times to take out samples of, take the biopsy, yeah. And then the next day, yesterday, was the first day of chemo, and 1 week since I found out I was sick, and now here we are at this chemo. There's been a lot of tears. I was telling you and Dimple, my favorite nurse, that when I got here yesterday, I was like, yeah, it'll be great. The chemo was the easy part. There's such an assortment of drugs they put me on to make me feel fine. Whatever, this is the easy part of this.
Yeah.
And it was like, as soon as I kept seeing familiar nurse after familiar nurse, I really
emotional.
Got emotional, yeah. But I don't know, that's where we're at now, and my husband and I are writing a book about my life. I know that sounds really narcissistic and maybe weird, but I really have had a very eventful and strange 33 years. So that'll be a page turner, I'm sure.
I'll read it.
And
shit.
Yeah, what else? I don't know.
So what exactly does the chemo do, since you were technically terminal? What is the chemo doing for you?
So chemotherapy, at its simplest way to describe it, is it stops fast growing cells.
Okay.
Which is why people lose their hair and their nails get brittle. Anything on your body that can grow back really kind of quickly, it gets shut down. So eyelashes, eyebrows, hair, nails. And so the idea is that it's slowing the growing rate of the tumor. So this is a visual description on an audio medium, but when one has radiation, I visualize it as the way I was described, is like lightning bolts directly to the tumor to break it up. And then the chemo comes through like a tidal wave and washes all of the fast growing cells out, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. So yeah. But again, after one treatment yesterday, and it might be all the drugs, it might be placebo effect, whatever it is, I'm feeling less physical pain in my liver and all of the other places than I have in the last few weeks. For a while, before I got diagnosed, I thought I was just having heartburn and a torn oblique, and I was like, man, I really fucked myself up. Like, what the hell? Turns out that's not what those were. And I also had a chest cold for a while, so like.
Is that why you're coughing?
Yeah, that's the coughing has nothing to do with it.
It's not in your throat anymore. Why are you coughing?
No, it's not my lungs either, I don't think. So I just had a chest cold.
Yeah.
And Collier and I moved, like.
You did?
10 days before, yeah. So my house is still mostly in boxes. And that's sort of frustrating, but that's my own.
Yeah.
I mean.
That's why you need a cleaning lady.
Yeah, no
Get
kidding.
an unpacking lady.
Well, my best friend Crystal, the one that's a nurse that just like is here kind of regularly, will come and just like clean my house when she's here, even if I'm not sick.
That's cool.
It's sort of a shady read on. I mean, not that we just have clutter. We just have a lot of stuff and 3 dogs. But I'm sure she's going to walk into our apartment tomorrow and be like, oh, what the fuck? And just start unpacking stuff. Which is fine, because if there's anybody besides my husband that I trust to put my house together exactly how they know it should be, it's her.
That's good.
But yeah.
That's good. Oh, so what... I don't know what this is. I probably should, but what is immunotherapy?
Okay,
and what does
so...
that do?
I get back to chemotherapy first. Your immune system is one of those fast-growing cells. So when you have chemotherapy, all your white blood cells get wiped out in that tidal wave. So I'm essentially like a newborn baby.
Mm-hmm. Which is why you had to wear a mask last time?
Yes.
Everywhere? Okay.
Yeah. So immunotherapy fortifies my immune system.
Okay.
And I will receive that until I die. I will come to an infusion center just like this to receive immunotherapy. And I don't know how often, but basically what immune system builds itself back up in me, the immunotherapy basically like is armor. And I think it also like helps regenerate the immune system.
That's
so
cool.
It just helps my body fight the disease more. That almost sounded like a Depeche Mode quote, which would have been fabulous.
So it's kind of like...
I didn't know what
did you
immunotherapy
say?
was until 8 days ago, so don't
That's fine.
feel bad about that.
So in your... I think it was the first video you posted?
What was my hair like? Was it blonde?
It was when you were like...
Oh yeah, that was that day. That was a week ago yesterday.
Yeah. So you didn't know about immunotherapy? Because
they had told us, but I didn't.
You saying that it's basically all this stuff is to
prolong.
Well, I think you said something about quality versus quantity.
Oh, that's just my choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for my husband and I. We watched my mom pass away of Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't aware of that her life wasn't how she would have ever wanted it. Luckily. But I refuse to be bedridden for more than like the last couple days. That's not a life for me.
Yeah.
And it certainly isn't a life for my husband, who is on board with being a really great caretaker. But like a couple years of being like hooked up to machines in bed is not something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So, I have a palliative care meeting on Monday, which is really, I think of all of the appointments, that's kind of the scariest for me.
What's that?
That means they're the people who prescribe the drugs to keep you comfortable when you're about to die.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine, because if I am as uncomfortable as it seems like I can be, and potentially could get more uncomfortable.
I don't know why that just made me
Yeah,
emotional.
that's the scariest one. Same. They're the people who would set up like hospice. That's crazy. That's the toughest one for me too.
I went through this with my ex's grandma. I was closer to her than my own grandma, obviously.
Sure. Monster.
And I was there with the diagnosis. I was there when she went into hospice care. I watched her die.
Oof.
14 of us were in the room, and I watched her take her last breath and do the whole scary gurgle thing.
Oh yeah, the death rattle.
And, yeah. But she was 74.
Yeah.
She wasn't 33.
Right.
So it's like, it's still, even though I've been through this with somebody before, I haven't.
Right. I think, truth be told, I would rather have this in my 30s than in my 60s or 70s when I don't have the energy to do things on that bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely wouldn't want it when I was like in my early 20s or teens, because I hadn't I've traveled all over the world already. So there's a lot of stuff that I've seen.
I've never been out of the U.S.
Not even Mexico? Like not even down to TJ?
No. I know. I need to.
Let's go do the freedom run. That sounds.
Get busy dying.
When I say freedom run to Mexico, that doesn't. I want to be very clear that I'm not some sort of make America great again freak, but I know I've already established that. But you should just go to Tijuana. Yes, I have been lucky enough to travel extensively. My mom worked for the airlines when I was growing up, so we traveled a lot then too.
That's right. Duh.
Yeah.
That's not surprising to me
Right.
then.
So at least now I can be like, there's not all this stuff that I haven't done, and then feel that pressure. There's still a lot of stuff that I'd like to do.
Yeah.
But being in your mid-30s and having the energy to be, and the mental awareness to be like, there's these things I want to do. This stuff seems so unimportant now. Like,
Yeah.
just stuff seems unimportant.
Green juice.
Yeah.
I loved that. Like,
You
I
would-
do not want to be more miserable.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk on that a little bit.
Okay.
So, I completely understand why people's instinct is to say to me, you're the strongest person I know, because I am physically the strongest person you'll ever meet.
She is. I think she's stronger than me. And that says a lot because I'm pretty strong.
And I also know that a lot of those people know all of the tragedy that I've seen in my life.
Yep.
But to,
Episode 9.
yes, right? But to like be there with me and have me tell you this is not curable. And then to have you, not you specifically, Katie, but like the general you, one, say, oh no, you'll beat it. It to me translates to you putting up a wall between us and no longer allowing that honesty and that trust that I have for you as a person who I would tell in person or even talk to about it, which truth be told, I don't care. I'll talk to anybody about it, but especially loved ones. To me, that's putting a wall between us saying, okay, I'm emotionally detaching, which I understand, believe me. But like I said in my YouTube video, arguing with me or one-upping me or trying to tell me what's going to cure it isn't going to cure it. This is just what the truth is.
Yeah. Regardless of whose heart it comes from. Because you know it's all good intentions.
Oh, I mean, yes. It just, I understand denial and coping.
Yeah.
But if you are not a person who actually knows me in person and would never have the opportunity to say this to me next time, or hopefully it never happens to you in your life, but when the time comes that somebody says, I'm dying, we're going to do what we can to make it the best next. I'm pretty sure I have a couple years in me. Couple years. Please don't say that. Don't deny my diagnosis.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through my own denial and my own fear and my own, all the steps of grief, rational bartering.
Yeah.
I'm not praying to God or anything.
One of the things
Sorry,
I've
people.
heard, and I won't mention any names, is, well, her mom was diagnosed with the same thing, and she lasted years. I'm like, she's
No,
not
she
her
didn't.
mom. She's
Robin,
not her mom.
Yeah. Well, and also, my mom was not diagnosed with the same thing I had. Originally, she had breast cancer. And again, like I said in episode 9, no cancer is easier than another.
Yeah.
There's no cancer you want.
Exactly.
The original survival rate of this was 12%.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Please hold.
So Robin, my mom, had breast cancer, which is different.
This was the cancer, like, way when she was really, really
Oh,
young?
no. When she was young, she had skin cancer.
That's what it was. Okay. So that's a definitely different diagnosis.
I mean, she was also stage 4.
Yeah.
But again, it's a very different thing. Then maybe in late 2015, 2016, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all kinds of research and studies and like a well-worn path of treatment for that. The 160 other people that had my original small cell carcinoma, again, were older men, like old 80-year-old men that also had cancer everywhere else. Like, there's not a well-worn treatment path here. And I think people just hear cancer and think it's like the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Like no matter where you get it,
It's
and it's
different.
very, very different. Yeah.
It's like all children are different, all cancers different.
Yeah. Every snowflake
Every snowflake.
is its own thing. But this one especially is, I didn't have good odds from the jump. So please don't argue with me about my diagnosis, even if it does comfort you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking about walls, like I've never been good at, like I've always been the avoider.
Oh yeah, avoidance
So,
is
like-
my coping mechanism too.
Yeah. So like I basically half the time lived at my house and half the time lived at it was before we were even married. The marriage that didn't count.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But like she'd be in her room and I wouldn't go in there and say hi and talk to her, and I realized I was doing that when we went into her room once, and she goes, oh, "There's my babies," and I was just like,
Oh fuck.
"Yeah." So I don't want to do that with you.
Yeah.
So anytime you want me to drive down,
Yeah.
I'll drive down. I mean, it's probably harder for you to drive to me
Well, I mean,
if you get motion sickness after your chemo.
none of that.
But yeah, I want to be part of the life that you have left.
I appreciate that.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and I mean, like this is way less. Like I would rather see people have their honest reaction than to bright side it for me, because that's not going to help either of us. And when I'm gone, if you were just like, "Oh no, you'll beat it," and you didn't tell me what you just told me, you would feel terrible forever.
Yeah.
I think.
I think that's the first time I've ever said that out loud, that I'm an avoider.
That's a
I
huge.
think I might have, I don't know if I did, but I might have done that a little bit with Mike when he was sick.
I'm sure. I did it with my mom when she just had Alzheimer's. I moved her into the nursing home when I was like 28. And at first I'd go see her like a couple times a week. And as her memory got worse, it was like once a week, every couple of weeks. And then one time I realized it had been like 3 or 4 months. And the nursing home was like less than 5 miles from our house.
Just like Grey's Anatomy.
Oh yeah, her mom has Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah.
Does she avoid seeing her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
In another morbid turn, my mom had Alzheimer's, her mom had Alzheimer's, and her mom's mom had it.
So maybe you're avoiding Alzheimer's.
Yes. Which is a blessing for me.
Your mom and my grandma got it around the same time.
That's so crazy.
And my grandma is still alive.
Yeah.
She's 83. She'll be 84 in April.
April 9th.
Yeah. We share a birthday.
Rude.
Ladies and gentlemen. Now you know my birthday. I'm not crying. But yeah. Speaking of birthdays.
Yes.
I need to send you the official invitation.
To your birthday?
Yeah. I'm having, I don't really celebrate my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to be 35. Let's have a potluck.
Yeah, right? That seems like 35. I can't.
It's hard to fathom.
You're permanently like 14 or 15
There
in my
you
brain.
go.
Which would put me at what, 12 or 13?
I should put clips together of our old videos and like everything that I have, and then like put dramatic music behind it. Did you see my ankle video with the dramatic?
No.
Oh my god. So that's another thing. I posted this video about having to teach off bike.
Oh, yeah, I said that where you were standing. You're standing
and
teaching
I was
it?
going like this. And I was like, I'm going to put like movie theme music behind this to make it both inspirational and,
better production value.
entertaining. And then the next day you're like, I'm going to fucking die. And I'm like, who the fuck do I think I am posting about my stupid ankle?
Well, I mean,
But it was funny. I think some people didn't realize I was trying to be funny with the dramatic music. I don't care.
Yeah, whatever. Who
It's
cares?
funny to me.
Yeah, it is
so.
funny. Yeah, and I mean, it is a big deal. You are a fitness instructor and you hurt your ankle. So that
First
is.
time I've been injured.
How did you injure yourself?
My stupidity. I was doing wide leg high knees,
Okay. Oh yeah.
and we had just done dumbbell snatches because I don't have any kettlebells, so we were using a dumbbell. We threw them down, and my foot landed on the dumbbell, and we heard the, and I'm like, and I was in shock all night. I didn't feel it till the next morning, so I was like walking on it and stuff. But I got lucky though. It was only like minorly swollen. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, it sounds right to me.
Yeah. So they're like, no bike.
How long?
I taught 6 weeks off bike.
So now you're back on the bike.
I'm back on the bike.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's, I don't know. I found out about you the next day after that stupid video, and I'm like, it's an ankle. It's a stomach ache. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like 2 weeks ago I went to the doctor because I thought I was having heart attacks. It was anxiety.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm doing okay compared to all the other people in my life. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad I can have that kind of attitude.
Yes.
So I really thought I was having heart attacks, and I was convinced it was that and or a brain tumor because I've been having headaches and or, there was a third thing.
Did they give you a scan?
Yeah.
And there's nothing in your brain. You're also just like this without any
Yep.
external influences to the brain.
Yep. And it was funny. They're like, we're going to give you some blood tests, just to make sure it's not this. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So I do this thinking it's going to be a blood test. And it was an IV.
Whoa.
I'm like, ow. I hate IVs.
Yeah, they're terrible. How long were you on the IV?
Half an hour.
Oh, yes. That seems weird for blood tests.
Yeah. She said that they leave it in just in case they need to do another test and they don't want to have to
Repoke you?
Yeah. How do we even get on that topic?
I don't know. How do we get on any of these topics?
I don't know.
It's just sort of it's like a brain dump of thoughts,
Yeah.
which I think is good.
Yeah. When I saw your video, well, actually, my mom called me first. She's all, "Did you see Megan's video?" And I was like,
So dramatic.
No. So I watched it, and I was just pissed off.
Yeah,
I had no emotion other than just being angry, and then the next day is when I was just sobbing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right
And I'm
now,
like, why am I crying? I'm not the one with cancer.
right now, anger is where Collier's at most of the time,
Yeah.
which is fine. He's allowed to be angry. It's one of the stages, isn't it?
Yep.
But I don't know. I have felt that it's unfair also, but I don't think I've been irate, rageful. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, she just took a pee-pee break, and then when she came back, she pointed out how red she is from her steroids.
Yes.
And my question is, what would happen if you took these steroids and then you went and worked out?
So the way anabolic steroids work, if you want to get into that conversation, is they don't build muscle.
Mm-hmm.
They decrease the recovery time of your muscles so that you
Gotcha.
can be working out more constantly without the recovery period.
And this is like the juice.
This is juice. This is gear. I used to work at a health club, people. And also I'm just really into weightlifting, so I tend to... Oh.
Are you still...
I haven't been in the gym since I found out I was sick, but I do plan on continuing to
Okay, I was wondering.
work out for as long as I can.
Do any of these treatments make you weaker? Like
Probably.
Like food poisoning?
No, not like that. Thank God. Yeah. No, I don't think they do make me weaker.
Does that mean you're done?
I think so. So that's the 30-minute one, and now we're doing the 90-minute one. Okay, great. Or, I'm sorry, 60-minute one.
Gotcha.
This will be a nice big boy episode.
Let's do it. It'll be my most extensive editing ever.
Yeah, no kidding. You're going to have a great time with that. So this is the actual chemotherapy. We haven't done any actual chemotherapy yet. I started feeling kind of like... I don't think I was having an allergic reaction, but I didn't realize we were doing the steroid. So I'm not having the reaction like you guys can see in there. Just so you both know. I know what you're thinking, but no, it's good. It's good because it's happened a few times. But I thought we were already doing the chemo, so I was feeling kind of and pretty red. But I think it's a steroid, isn't it? You guys are like, you tell us.
Steroid. It could be. It could be.
Yeah, I think it's a steroid. I wasn't having like heart palpitations or shortness of. No. I just was feeling kind of like flushed, and then when I went to the bathroom, I realized how red I was, and I remember now it's because we were on the steroids, not the chemo. That's all. I feel fine. I'm not having an episode.
So I'm gonna start it right now.
Yeah.
If anything changes from that baseline, will you call me?
Yes. I'm gonna have you have access to this too, because sometimes I like panic. It'd make for great podcasting.
Whoa.
Let's check your heart rate.
Sure.
See how it is.
I'll put my legs.
Blood pressure cuff? Yeah. Just to get a baseline right now.
The look on both of your guys' faces was like, oh shit.
Oh, you're gonna be okay.
No, but she does have history of relapse.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm constantly.
Oh yeah, shit. God, I do without even thinking.
I know. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm in the office, doctor office too.
Yeah, it's
What
like,
happened? What I missed?
I can't cross my legs when they're taking it, but I do it every
that's
time.
right.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, okay,
Heart
cool.
rate's okay.
It's still beating, right? That's
It
what,
is.
okay, good.
It's still beating.
That's good.
All right. If anything changes, just press your button.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
How do you feel right now?
Emotionally or physically?
Emotionally.
Pretty baseline, pretty standard. I don't know. I don't know, like, it really comes and goes, and there's no rhyme or reason to what makes me feel really sad or any of those stages that we've been talking about. I like I've mentioned in episode 9, I really like clerical work. I like data points. And so, like, having structure and predictable scheduling soothes me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I mentioned, how when I walked in here and I was seeing all the familiar faces of the nurses, I was taken aback by it. That is something I hadn't thought of or anticipated. I still have a little bit of that fight or flight response.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly, it's flight. I just want to like take off and go see stuff and like live that hashtag van life so I can be on the run. But that's not going to stop anything, you know?
Yeah.
So there's no need to run from it, I guess. But I don't know. I feel I'm still pretty certain there's nothing beyond this life. I don't know. I believe in ghosts, so that can't be totally true.
You believe in energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do find myself like having this visual like reconnection or like a reunion is a better word with like all the people that have died.
Yeah.
But I fundamentally do not believe in a Christian version of heaven. So
you're not going, I'm going to be with my
Pearly.
mom
Yeah.
again. What does it feel like knowing that you're going to die? I mean, everybody knows they're going to die, but I mean,
like
you
the,
don't know how much time you have.
yeah. You mean, okay, so aware of one's own mortality.
Yes.
It's scary. I feel like it's the ultimate FOMO.
Aw.
Like the idea of
Makes sense.
yeah, the idea of missing out on like a bunch of my friends are pregnant right now and like missing out on seeing their kids become like shithead teenagers and watching my friends suffer the way we made their parents suffer when we were teenagers is something that I'm really bummed about not being able to experience. I kind of go back and forth on do I really want to have kids or not, and this sort of put the final nail in that coffin,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
Sean and I talked about that. I'm like, I guess it's a good thing she didn't want kids because they'd be losing their mom right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time with the dogs losing their mom.
Yeah.
I think they know, though.
They know.
I think they know, which is really weird. Am I still bright red
Just like down here.
on my chest? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that seems fine.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit tired, but I'm
Okay.
enjoying talking to you on like a less hyper
Yeah.
plane, you know? It's nice.
Yeah.
What other questions do you have for the dying?
For the dying. Is that what you just said?
Yes. I speak for all of us now.
What? You're gonna be like, shut up. What can I do for you?
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah. So like, what can I do for you while you're... Is there a fire over there?
Probably. Maybe a helicopter went down. We're in Orange County.
Oh, God.
What can you do for me? I think a thing I would like would just be to see you more. You don't have to be the person that comes over and cleans. Just kidding, I'm kidding. But no, but just to like come over and hang out. That would be nice.
Would it ever be okay to bring Sean and the baby?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, has Desmond ever been to Disneyland?
We're gonna take him there this summer.
Yeah,
You wanna
I
go?
would like to come with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
My
gonna
pass
take him-
expires on 4/20.
Oh, we're taking him like July
Why?
or June. 'Cause
Why?
His birthday's June 12th. He'll be.
Does he know
3.
that?
I don't know. But
Do you-
he's into all the Pixar stuff, so we'll probably take him to California Adventure first.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
I love
The
it.
Toy Story, right? He's really into Toy Story right now. Before it was Cars.
I've never seen Cars.
Oh my God, watch it.
Crystal, my nurse
cleaner?
friend. Yeah, my cleaner. My personal nurse. I don't know if I talked about this in episode 9. So I can be very like, let's do this thing. And like, it's just like a fleeting thought, but with like 100% enthusiasm. And then I forget that I even fucking mentioned it. Crystal is not that way. And she and I used to run like 5Ks and 10Ks together, like once a month. With like in 2017, our goal was to run a race every month. And at the point that I had said this, what I'm about to tell you, when I said to her, we had run a 15K, which is like a little longer than 10 miles, but not quite a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I really want to do a half marathon at Disney World because they have these Disney races. And she was like, yeah, okay. Which is the level of that I require, knowing my history of being like, let's do this, and then forgetting I said it. And then maybe like 2 months later, she texted me. She goes, I need you to check your email. Oh God, okay. So I checked my email, and she signed us up for not only a half marathon, but a 10K in the same weekend. So we ran a 10K on Saturday and then a half on Sunday.
Good Lord.
So stupid. I was like, why did you do that? And she's like, well, because you wanted to. I was like, well, yeah, but what the hell? So we did that. And prior to that, she wasn't that into Disney. Like, she was like, it's fine. I like some of the movies.
I heard their runs are awesome.
It was amazing. You got to run through the back studios of Disney World.
Sorry.
The course was almost exactly the same both days, but obviously the half mile we got half mile. I wish the half marathon.
Run a race? How long? Half a mile.
We're sprinters, and we definitely aren't. It was neat they grow all of the fruits and vegetables at Disney World, and all the plants and all the planters are grown on site.
Ooh.
So they have like orchards and
That's cool. And you
Yeah.
had to run through that?
past them. Yeah,
So this is Disney World in Florida, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Which I prefer Disneyland.
I heard it was smaller than Disneyland.
No, Disneyland is much smaller.
Really?
Yeah, Disney World is like 5 separate parks. And so we kind of ran through all of the different
who
parks.
told me that. I don't know.
A fucking liar. I'm just kidding. Someone's spreading Disneyland propaganda. No, and like what's really weird is that the different lands, I think, are called different things. Mm-hmm. So like we call it the French Quarter, right? Where there's like the Pirates of the Caribbean. They call it something else, and I kept trying to find the fucking Haunted Mansion. But I also was looking for maybe for something more specific in that, like that land, and all of the cast members were looking at me like I was speaking a foreign language, and I was like, I'm speaking your foreign language. I was wrong. I was speaking the wrong dialect. But so we did that. But so Crystal, every time she comes, we go to Disneyland. I think she's gonna get like an annual pass also. I could go every day. I love it so much. I don't remember why we got on this topic. Oh, because we're going to bring Des.
You're definitely coming with us.
Okay, great. You can.
Because it'll be his first time. My mom keeps saying, don't take him this young. He won't remember. I'm like, yeah, but he'll still have fun.
Yeah. I remember the first time I went, I think. The first time I remember going was for my 4th birthday. And my mom and dad rented a hotel at the Disney Hotel when there was like just one. And my nephew Andrew and my niece Tiffany, who are like the same age as me, we all slept in our own room, but we had like the door that divided it from my parents. And we got up in the morning and took the monorail to the park, and it was just, like, to this day, it's like one of the coolest memories I have. And we all had matching sweatshirts. They dressed us like triplets, except Andrew's half Mexican, and Tiffany has like the curliest, like reddish hair. We didn't look related at all. But they treated us like triplets. What's your favorite? When was the last time you went to Disneyland?
We went with Sean's family maybe 6 years ago. Because his niece was 1 and she's 7 now, so it had to be like 6 years ago.
Yeah, 1's too young to bring a kid to Disneyland. What do you have, lizard mouth?
I'm thirsty.
You guys have my water. I'm not contagious. Whatever you have is not as bad as cancer.
Just sip. Do I just suck it?
Yeah, there's a straw in there. Better? That's right, you asked me for water like an hour and a half ago.
That's okay. I should have brought my jug in. I just didn't know, like,
the
protocol.
See, what else can Katie do for me?
Yeah, what can I do for you? I definitely want to see you more, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
We'll go to Disneyland.
I don't know. I have a hard time asking for stuff.
I'm asking you right now to ask
I know,
me for
but
shit.
I don't know.
Like, if you asked me to bring you In and Out today, I would have. That's why I
sounds
asked
nice.
you if you want or need anything.
Yeah, see, I have a hard time being like answering that directly.
I know, so you changed the subject.
Yeah, I do. Avoidance.
Yeah, she never answered my question yesterday. I was like, okay, am I going to Taco Bell?
Yeah. No, I don't know, and I think that's why the bucket list thing is hard to make too. Like, I guess it's easier because I can think of it abstractly, like, oh, this is a list of shit that I like to do.
Are you gonna go skydiving?
Maybe.
That's on my bucket list.
We can go skydiving together. I would love to do that. I don't think you can record the podcast whilst falling from a plane.
I'll think about it. Because I was thinking like 40s or 50s,
Yeah,
and my kids are a little older.
No? Do you worry about getting in your helicopter every time you have to take someone to basketball practice? Sorry.
No.
Sorry, that's so rude of me. Sorry, Southern California
Well,
listeners.
I just always figured that skydiving, if something goes wrong, at least you're having fun on the way to
Yeah.
your death.
Yeah, you weren't
But
anticipating
I have
that.
a 2.5-year-old who needs
Yeah.
his mommy, and if that did happen, I don't know. It is on my bucket list, though. Bungee jumping isn't
That
fun
seems
anymore.
painful.
Yeah.
Also, it seems deadlier to me than actual skydiving.
Like bouncing against the rocks.
Yeah, or like breaking your neck.
Yeah.
I just thought of a funny story apropos of nothing. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know how this isn't funny. This might not be funny to anybody but me. So it's Girl Scout cookie season, and I was on my way to work, and Collier was driving me, and we were listening to whatever that Santa Monica NPR is, WKZB, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the host was talking about Girl Scout cookies and girls going door to door to sell cookies and like what people's opinion of that is. And Collier was like, did you ever do that? And I was like, hell yes. And I loved it. And I was like, and then I used to, after Girl Scout cookie season was over, fill up my little red radio flyer with like car washing supplies and go door to door and ask people if I could wash their car for $5. But
Did you do that with me and Tony?
Yes.
Okay. 'Cause I remember doing that with Tony.
Yeah, I did it by myself too, and I was like 6 years old. And I'd be like, I need your hose. and whatever else you have. I mean, it's so stupid. But then I would also have like a hot chocolate stand in the winter, and I like sit out in the rain selling hot chocolate. And Collier was like, you have to call the radio station and tell them this. This is exactly what NPR wants to hear. And he's like, and also you sell cars for a living. So it's all led up to, he's like, you became an independent door-to-door sales child, and now you sell cars. So I got to tell that story on the radio, and the guy was like, wow. Where do you sell cars? And I was like, West Coast Toyota in Long Beach, Maine. He's like, you heard it here, people. This independent door-to-door sales child is now selling cars.
That is funny.
I was just a weird kid like that. I was just like always so precocious.
Yeah.
Like maybe annoyingly so. I do like sales though. I know it's not for everybody, and I do think that it does have its we're good? Yeah. We're done? No. Oh, okay. We're good. I think, it's kind of a, being a car salesperson, automatically people have their like preconceived notions of what you're going to be like.
Yeah.
And there's definitely certain personality traits that are true. But when people come in and I walk around the corner, I mean, like I'm basically like an office goth, like I try to look as professional as possible, but it's pretty clear that I'm still like a weird old goth lady.
Yeah.
They're kind of like disarmed a little bit. And then my like bubbly personality probably confuses them more with all the black. But I do really like it. And I do get frustrated when somebody wastes my time for hours and hours and they don't end up buying a car.
Yeah.
But the bullshitting with people and getting paid for it is just the most fun. I waited tables for many, many years. I think we talked about that.
Yes.
And then, maybe I told this story on the last podcast. I don't know. I worked at Coach, the handbag store. Mm-hmm. I must have, because I talked about my purses and how I ended up.
Just keep going.
Okay.
Because maybe that one person that didn't decide to turn it off and listen to episode 9
jerks.
first, they're still listening.
So I worked at Coach like a couple days a week, mostly for the discount. And I worked out at, Equinox, the real bougie gyms, whatever. They're stupid expensive.
Gyms, you said?
Yeah, health club. It's a health club.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The same company that owns them owns Lifetime Fitness, which is what I would.
Okay.
Currently.
I know Lifetime Fitness.
Yes, I was currently working out at Lifetime Fitness while I worked at Coach at this time in my life. And this lady walked in, and before I could finish saying hi, she went, "I'm just looking," and then I was like, "Great, you should just look at that bag." Also, you could just look at these sunglasses that we just got in. And I did it kind of jokingly, well, fine, fuck you for being so rude.
Uh-huh.
Where's your fucking your human decency? But she ended up spending $2,400.
Just saying hi.
Yeah. But she ended up spending $2,400 on a lot of the stuff that I told her she should just look at. Oh my God. And at the end, she was like, "You should do what I do for a living." And I was like, "What's that?" Because I was kind of please. She's like, I am in membership sales at Lifetime Fitness. And I was like, "Oh, I actually should do that." And then she's like, "Well, let's apply while we're..." So I got on the computer at work with her and filled out the application. And then I just called the one I wanted to work at and was like, "Hi, I just submitted an application. Do you have time tomorrow for an interview?" And the guy was like, "Sure." I was like, "Well, how else are you going to get a sales job if you don't have the audacity to call and go, you need to meet me?"
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I've just stayed in sales. But I like it.
That's cool.
And so far, selling purses and cars are the easiest things.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince somebody that they need to spend $190 a month on a gym membership.
Yeah. Did you ever sell cosmetics?
No.
Okay.
Is that hard?
Not really.
Yeah,
I mean, I think also it's because I've been using Mary Kay since I was 17. It's
that helps.
all I use. And I've tried other things just to be fair. I'm like, nope. God, I'm on Mary Kay. That's why I look 19.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I think if you're selling something, you should believe 100% in what you're selling.
Oh, yeah, and Toyotas are so easy to...
yeah.
It's like, geez.
Toyotas will last you 50 years.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of return customers, thank God. Yeah, no, I always just go... there's something sexy about buying a Corolla You know what I mean? Like,
said that last time.
yeah, well, it's true, right?
Yeah.
Like, but they know they're going to buy the car, not if they're coming there to buy a Toyota. It's selling yourself at that point to be like, am I the person you want to buy the car from? Great.
Yeah.
So
well, now I'm in this whole other kind of field of sales, like for life coaching and personal trainers.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they do this with car salespeople or whatever, but a new terminology is coming out saying you have to brand yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you know all about.
Oh yeah, that's why I post the picture. You know, I saw.
Beautiful Beast Within. That's my brand.
Yeah.
You know, so. I mean, I guess I'm in sales too. We're all selling something.
And do you do life coaching also?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like helping people go after what they want to do with their lives and helping people get rid of like all the crap that the world has given them and like pulling themselves back out to be the person that you always were.
How do you do that? How do you know how do you like get into that?
I'm in the midst of getting certified. So it's I feel like I'm taking a psychology course.
Yeah, I bet.
So it's really cool. I've always been into psychology and it's cool. And I think on top of that, I want to be an intuitive eating counselor.
A what? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they have a special program for personal trainers.
Who are you getting certified through?
The two authors. They have a...
Oh, yeah, those two ladies.
Oh, my God. They have a
course?
A course, yeah.
Yeah. Of course they have a course.
Oh, hey.
Do you want to get a stool?
Do you want to sit here for a while?
She keeps standing up.
I left it warm for you.
Hi, I'm just going to take the host's mic for a moment here, and I'm going to tell you some of the things I've been working on.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is technical cancer stuff.
Yeah.
This is good.
No, not really technical cancer stuff. This is... So I have been continuing to bend the My Registry website. Oh, good. We were talking
about this earlier, and I was like,
try to make this a workout for a bucket list.
Yeah, how's that going?
I'm starting to make it look right, but I think it still has things about the wedding and the URL. So maybe we can like tiny URL it, and then it won't have anything about the wedding. So a link won't say wedding.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
No, this is good because she was asking about this, and I was like, I don't really understand.
Yeah, and so I was putting all sorts of different things we've talked about on there.
Like what?
And one of them was traveling to Iceland. Mm-hmm. And then I was also looking at, this is going to be some live radio podcast realness, because Megan has no idea what I'm about to talk about right now.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
And it might make you cry. It might make her cry. But we'll cut it out if it's too personal, if it's too intrusive. We'll just take it out.
She's gonna die of herpes.
So I was looking at different like end of life choices, things like cremation, water cremation is a new one.
Can I tell you something that I thought of while we actually live podcasting that you don't know either?
Yeah.
Both episodes that I've been on, I've organically ended up on, circling back to The Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
And
do you want someone to eat your remains?
No.
Oh, good.
I thought of
I'm
this.
not up for that.
And it immediately popped out of my mouth, much like most of my thoughts. Wherever you guys release most of the ashes, it's really important that Goodbye Horses is playing one.
Oh, right. Goodbye Horses. Absolutely. That's right. So then one of the things, I don't know, drifting down the rabbit hole and looking at what, different places offer. There are places that do you need to like check levels? And
He's
see
green.
Okay.
Whenever the bubbles show up, I just...
Oh, I see.
Good.
So, I was looking at different options here in California for burial, cremation, those kinds of things like green burial and stuff like that.
Is there the tree burial?
There is like Jewish traditional burial for Jews.
That makes sense.
That's one thing. And then there are other like what appear to be very expensive options because they don't put prices up front. And I think that generally you wanted cremation. And so then I had this thought, well, what if we're in Iceland and she takes a turn from the worst can't fly and passes.
I like a Viking funeral.
And so I looked into that.
I knew it.
Viking funerals don't seem to be the tradition anymore because the Church of Iceland is weirdly has a strong arm in the government, and you can get embalmed there, but you have to do it privately, and we wouldn't want that anyway. But then I was like contacting embassies and so on, and I have to contact the embassy tomorrow. But the question was sort of like, is the intention to die in Iceland? And I said, well, I don't think so. But I know that American tourists have a tendency to die in Iceland because they do foolish things like all the time and fall off of high ledges and such. And the woman at the consulate confirmed that.
Oh, okay.
She said she was new. She accidentally answered from Sweden.
Oh, okay.
And so she's...
They're all the same.
But anyway, I just thought that was sort of... You would find it kind of...
I do find that. This is good. All of this information that you put forward, we sort of talked about, and I was like, I don't really know.
I had this like thought, every once in a while in this kind of thing, you have like a really, really hopeful thought. And my thought was, what if Megan dies in Iceland and then they just like pay for the greenest, most ecological like conclusion to your life just because they're Icelandic and therefore better? But no, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Well,
Even if you get cremated there, the automatic process is then to bury the cremains.
in that little cemetery?
I don't think you can get it. That's some prime real estate. But anyway, I'm going to call the embassy in Iceland during business hours over there at some point, and then we'll be able to get more information.
I love that.
Sorry, I'm not a good radio guest because I trail off at the ends of my sentences.
You can still sit there if you want.
But I'm passing the mic.
You can still sit. Yeah.
I really don't want to sit.
I had food poisoning yesterday, so my body hurts. I'm in the chair going like...
I told her how, like, on the third or fourth time I slept over at your house, I had food poisoning. It's glamorous.
Glamorous.
Yeah.
Romantic.
Super.
He's like, I never wanted you more.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, out of my house. I never wanted you out of my house more. Katie, what other questions do you have for the dying?
I don't know yet, but I think that we should do this again.
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to record every conversation we have every time we visit, but
extremely
it's kind of
entertaining.
funny. Maybe next time I'll have stands and we can just...
Yakety, 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 yak. Well, good.
Yeah.
I mean, this won't be the last time.
Yeah.
We can sign off.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay, great.
I have a sign-off question. Maybe I should ask this, like, later when you're less hairy and...
I mean, I've been hairless before, so...
You know my usual question of if you had one piece of advice you could give to the world?
Okay.
If you have one piece of advice that you can leave for the world,
okay,
all bullshitting aside.
I know I'm basically just going to reiterate a sentiment that I have been coming back to. I, again, have never had a hard time letting people know, for better or worse, how I feel about them. And to not have to wrestle that emotional monster leading, like, towards the end, I think is a blessing. I get to think of the fun things like a Viking send-off. You know, I get to put all that energy into doing stuff with the people that I care about.
Yeah.
And not trying to smash down lifelong walls I've built on not expressing myself. I would venture to say that that's probably what most people end up leaving this world. Leave, and it wherever they end up, it doesn't matter. But it leaves a hole for the people that are also have those walls up, that have the woulda, shoulda, couldas. But, like, who the fuck cares? Tell somebody that you are pissed at them, and then maybe you'll work through your shit, and communicate clearer, and you'll have a better understanding of one another. To bring it back to sales in the same way, the worst thing someone can say to you when you're trying to sell them something is no. So why not ask? And if you know that you're looking at the end of your life, which we all are, so, none of us are getting out of this alive. Try to tell the people that you care about them. But also, who cares if you go, hey, I'm fucking pissed. Why does this have to be this way? And usually people, the ones that love you, will meet you halfway and go, well, why do you have to, there can be some of those hard conversations, but would you rather leave the people that you care about not having had those conversations? Probably not. And to make this really cheesy, I'm gonna end with a Dr. Seuss quote. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who don't mind matter, and those who matter don't mind. I think I said that backwards. Whatever. The people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. So, just, there's that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Megan White signing off. Until next time.